Hello my dear children, welcome to today's class. In today's class we are going to discuss about new ratio, that is activity ratio. We all know that resources are very limited. Every company or every enterprise, they are thinking different ways to make best use of these limited resources. They depend on the activity ratio to know how best or how optimum use of resources have been made by them. So today's our class is related to activity ratios. There are 4 types of activity ratio. Let us learn what are these ratios. Children, the ratio which we are going to discuss today is activity ratio, which is also known as turnover ratio. Let us first of all have a review on the previous ratios which we have discussed. The first one is liquidity ratio. Second one is solvency ratio, the third one is activity ratio, and the fourth one is profitability ratio. We have already finished liquidity ratio and solvency ratio, and in today's class we will discuss the activity ratio. What is activity ratio? Activity ratios, also termed as performance or turnover ratio, it measures how well the resources have been used by the enterprise. The results is expressed in number of times. These ratios are calculated on the basis of cost of revenue from operation, that is cost of goods sold, or revenue from operation, that is net sales. If the ratio is showing higher turnover, the higher the turnover ratio means better use of resources or capital. There are 4 types of activity ratio. They are inventory turnover ratio, trade receivables turnover ratio, trade payables turnover ratio, and working capital turnover ratio. In today's class, we are discussing inventory turnover ratio. The formula to calculate inventory turnover ratio is cost of revenue from operation or cost of goods sold divided by average inventory. We have already discussed the formula to calculate inventory turnover ratio, that is cost of revenue from operation divided by average inventory, and we saw that it is expressed in the form of times. Now how to calculate cost of revenue from operation? Here are some formulas given to you. As per the question and the items given in the question, you have to make a choice regarding the selection of formulas. So cost of revenue from operation, you can use the formula revenue from operation minus gross profit, or revenue from operation plus gross loss, or you can use the formula opening inventory plus net purchases plus direct expenses minus closing inventory. Or otherwise, if in the question it is given the items are related to manufacturing enterprises, then you can use the formula cost of material consumed plus purchase of stock in trade plus changes in inventories of finished goods, work in progress and stock in trade plus direct expenses. So there are 4 formulas, and according to the items given to you, you have to make a choice about regarding the formulas. Now to calculate average inventory, the formula is opening inventory plus closing inventory divided by 2. So these are the formulas which you have to study very thoroughly. Now let's do one problem related to calculation of inventory turnover ratio. The items given to you are opening inventory 30,000, purchases 69,000, carriage inwards 3,000, closing inventory 9,000, wages 4,500, freight outwards is 5,000. As usual, you have to write the formula first. Inventory turnover ratio is equal to cost of revenue from operations divided by average inventory. Now, which formula should we use to calculate cost of revenue from operation out of the 4 formulas given to you? So, just look into the questions. According to the items given to you, you have to make the selection. So, we can use the formula cost of revenue from operation is equal to opening inventory plus purchases plus direct expenses minus closing inventory. See, you have to write the amount of each of this item. Opening inventory is 30,000, purchases is 69,000, direct expenses. Look into the question. Carriage inward and wages are the two direct expenses given in the question. Freight outward is the indirect expenses, and you are not supposed to take that item. Okay, so direct expenses item only should be considered. So, carriage inward and wages amount will be taken here. Adding that amount together, they have written here 7,500 minus closing inventory is 9,000, that we will write here. So after adding and subtracting these items, the amount which you will get is 97,500. That is your cost of revenue from operation. You can substitute this amount over here. Then what about average inventory? The formula is opening inventory plus closing inventory divided by 2. Substitute the amount of opening inventory here, that is 30,000, and closing inventory 9,000. Right, add it together and divide by 2. So you will get the amount of 19,500 as your average inventory. Now write down 19,500 in the formula, that is substituting that amount, divide it. After dividing, you will get the answer 5 times. Let us move to one more problem. That is, you are given cost of revenue from operation as 3 lakh. Purchases is given 3,30,000 and opening inventory is given 60,000. First of all, write down the formula. Inventory turnover ratio is equal to cost of revenue from operations divided by average inventory. See, cost of revenue from operation is already given to you. So that 3 lakh you can write down over here. But what about average inventory? You know the formula is opening inventory plus closing inventory divided by 2. But if you notice the question, only opening inventory is given to you. So we have to find out the closing inventory. For that we can use the formula, the previous formula, that is cost of revenue from operation is equal to opening inventory plus purchases plus direct expenses minus closing inventory. So this formula can be used to calculate closing inventory. So putting the item which we have to find out closing inventory in your left hand side and the other items together, that is opening inventory plus purchases minus cost of revenue from operation. Here in this question direct expenses is not given, so don't take, no need of that items. Okay, so with the required items you will calculate the value of closing inventory, that is 90,000. Put that amount in the formula for calculating average inventory, that is opening inventory plus closing inventory divided by 2. You will get the amount 75,000. Put this 75,000 over here. Divide the value. You will get 4 times.